Corona. All right. Welcome back to the Top Prospect Podcast, an elite podcast. So great to be back with the boys. How are you guys doing today?
Phil, you sound so not thrilled right now.
I know. Where's the enthusiasm, man? I want to hear the hype.
Come on,
All right, man. Come on.
Start over right now.
Welcome back to the Top Prospect Podcast, an elite podcast. I'm not hosting today, but just Phil doesn't know how to do an intro. So I'm going to hand the mic off to Philip Jones. Your show. Let's get going.
How is everyone doing today?
And that's the question he comes up with.
electric.
I'm happy.
I'm fired up to be recording once again with the boys. We're excited as always. And I'm going to give a quick shout out to our TikTok page. Just started up. We got some great content going on there. If you're seeing us, go check us out there. It's a great time.
All of our links are going to be down below in the description. Anyway, I'm going to hop right into it. So today's main topic is going to be NBA injuries. As you can see with John's background, 3 really bad injuries: Gordon Hayward, Roberson, and who's the one in the middle? I really can't tell.
I believe it's DeMarcus Cousins.
Oh, DeMarcus Cousins, right.
Ruptured Achilles.
So if you don't know, injuries in the NBA this year have been astronomically high. There's speculation that COVID's a reason for this, speculation that short season, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to ask, what do I want to ask first? John, real quick. Do you think that the shortened season or the short intermission from season to season is a cause of all these insane injuries? Or do you think it's a natural occurrence?
I don't know if we can totally blame it, but I think it definitely has a part in it as far as getting the body ready to go back to full speed. I mean, you guys know how it is with any sport. I mean, there is some training and getting your body physically ready to play at a high level, like across any sport, any level. And to kind of bounce off of the NBA a little bit, we saw what happened with football last year. I mean, was it week 2 or week 3? One of those weeks was really like the week of injuries, and they didn't really have a preseason at all. They had very limited training camp. So considering the fact that we kind of saw it happen early in the season of football and it kind of hit the NBA the same way, I would say, yeah, definitely part of it is that, because players don't have the abilities to get their bodies up to a high level to go compete. And I mean, it goes back to the old thing about always stretch or else you're going to get injured. I mean, if you're not ready to go, your body's not ready.
Do any of you have anything in common about that?
John, I'm a little curious why you say that it's only partially to blame for it, because I think it's fully to blame for it, because a lot of these injuries are happening with these teams that made pretty deep playoff runs. I mean, LeBron and Anthony Davis are 2 injured guys, and they had absolutely no time to recover from their championship. A lot of the Miami Heat players either got COVID or were also injured, and they didn't have a lot of time to turn around after that. So I think the short off season is completely to blame for all these injuries happening now.
The reason why I wouldn't say it's the full reason to blame is because when you look at injuries, for the most part, they tend to be freak accident incidents. Is it really LeBron's fault? Is the reason why LeBron got someone to who was the player? I forget who it was, but anyway,
Solomon Hill.
Yeah, literally went into the side of his ankle and he sprained his ankle from it. You know what I mean? A lot of injuries tend to be freak accidents, which is why it's doesn't matter how long his off season is. If that situation happens, it happens. I mean, obviously there's some of them the non-contact injuries that could definitely be to blame, but I don't know. How do I put this? I think the shortened off season is 100% to blame for the risk of it. The shortened off season is what put them in this situation, but I don't think that is the direct reason why the actual injury itself occurs. If you know what I mean.
I understand what you're saying now. I was a little confused as to what your point was, but that made sense. Yeah.
Ross, you got anything to say?
Yeah, it kind of goes both ways. It could do with off-season restrictions. It could do just with freak accidents. Like what we saw with Donovan Mitchell yesterday. He landed on someone and completely twisted his ankle. So it could be freak accidents. It could be because of the shortened off season. More players are resting, I think, because of that shortened off season. So I definitely think COVID has played a huge factor into some of these injuries, but also like what John said, injuries can totally be freak accidents, and like literally anything could happen at any given time.
Now, bouncing off this question right here. So the MVP race, as we know, it's number one as of right now is Jokic. I believe number two is Embiid, and number three is Giannis or Luka or something like that. Do you guys think that these injuries are causing players like LeBron, Anthony Davis, Donovan Mitchell, like players like that, their MVP chances just to plummet?
The question is, are you asking like, is it like, what am I saying? Is your question, is this plummeting their MVP stock, or are you asking, should it? Like, in our opinion, do we think it should?
I'm asking both, actually. I'm asking both.
I think, yeah, it's kind of hard to deny that it's, you can't really say that it's not affecting the MVP stock. I mean, people are basing it on how you play. And obviously, the MVP ladder, like as you see when NBA posting it, for the most part, it's like a week by week basis. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this player did good this week. Let's jump him up 3 spots, even though he was just, all right, barely in the conversation the rest of the year. So is it like affecting the MVP stock? Yeah, for sure it is. Do I think it should? I think to a certain degree, but it depends on every situation, every circumstance. Because, some people have an injury where it's, they miss 10, 15 games, where other people have injuries that last much longer. And in that case, obviously, I think it should have a greater impact. But I mean, yeah, I feel like it's definitely impacting in some way, because if LeBron comes back and in the last couple of weeks of the season, he goes off, that's going to raise his stock at the end of the season when they're getting ready to vote.
So do you think that just because Joel Embiid missed I don't know how many games he missed, but do you think just because he missed those games that he should be second, or do you think if he like dominates the rest of the season, he should be MVP? Like, do you think that's going to affect like those things?
Do I think it's going to affect them? Me personally, I think, yeah, it could, because obviously everyone has their own opinions on this stuff and the voters base it on whatever they want, really. But I don't think it really should, because, I mean, at the end of the day, who's the most valuable player? That's kind of how I see it. It's like, yeah, he missed a few games to injury, but when he was on the court, and he was on the court long enough to the point where he made that big of an impact, I don't think his injury should be the sole reason why he doesn't get it, if at the end of the season, he's the most deserving player.
So
No.
you can go. Sorry, you can go.
Now, I think LeBron James and Joel Embiid's injuries are a little different from each other, because Joel Embiid didn't have to miss that many games, while LeBron's going to be out for a month total or something like that. He's got 3 more weeks plus what he's
2 or
missed.
3 more weeks, it said.
So I think that it's going to kill LeBron's chances of probably even being top 3 in MVP, just because of how long he's been out in the shortened season. But I think Embiid being injured, it hurts where he is placed right now, but he's in a position where he's able to go up again. And because Jokic hasn't really missed time or been injured, right now he's number 1. But I think Embiid has plenty of time to overcome and overtake his spot.
So I have a quick question. So I know this kind of has to do with injuries, but if you say how many weeks are left in the NBA season? 3 weeks, 4 weeks? I think the playing tournament's early to mid-May.
I want to say, yeah, that sounds about right, mid-May-ish.
So if our top 3 MVPs, probably Jokic, Embiid, and either Luka or Giannis. That's probably the MVP race right now. So if they continued their steady play, would you put Jokic as the MVP, or would you put Giannis, Luka, and Embiid above them with the play that they're doing right now? There's just continuous play. No injury involved.
I mean, this kind of goes, are you pretty much asking us who our MVP is, in a sense?
Yeah, kind of, yeah, but
because if it is, I'm going to go back to our very first podcast when I said my MVP was Jokic, and I would stick by that right now. I still think he's the MVP. And I still think Joel Embiid definitely deserves to be in that conversation. I don't think his injury's been detrimental. Where LeBron, I mean, you miss about a month of the season, shortened season. Say you're playing an average of 3 games a week, 4 games a week. I mean, that's a lot of games when you times the 4 or 5 weeks he's been out. I don't want to see injuries impact the stock, but at the same time, if Jokic plays the whole entire season injury free, and he has just as good, if not better, contributions, then it's like he was more valuable because he was on the court every single night. So like when you're comparing it at the very end to close players, then yeah, injuries can come into play. But to get back to the main central theme, I still don't want an injury to determine an MVP though, unless it's like literally you're missing a significant amount of time.
Anything else about that you guys want to talk about?
I would love to talk. I've been a little silent for a little too long. So
I loved it.
damn. But I think LeBron's chances at MVP are completely like I don't think there's no way he wins MVP considering the amount of time he's been out. With Embiid, I feel like he was out for what, like a good week or two, something like that.
Like 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah. So before his injury, I thought Embiid was like the clear-cut MVP because like his team was winning and all this. But then like since he was sidelined and then Jokic has been playing like outstanding, I just feel like Jokic is gonna win MVP because just from his outstanding play and like all of his highlights that you see online and stuff, while Embiid's not like playing, I just feel like Jokic has definitely gained the upper hand.
Be like, I agree and disagree. So like obviously in the first video that we did, we talked about predictions. Check it out also. But I was all like Embiid, MVP, like Embiid this, Embiid that. And this MVP race is so hard,
Yeah.
especially with Embiid's injury, because it's two opposite players that play completely different, but they're the same position. Jokic is this like point guard. He's technically he's a point center basically. That's offensively one of the best big men ever. Offensively, I said. And then you have Embiid, who offensively is still incredibly talented, but his defense also brings him to a level. I'm leaning Jokic on this MVP thing because the Jamal Murray injury. I feel like that is going to elevate him to his MVP status.
He's going to carry more of a load.
Exactly. If somehow he can maintain like a high seed in the Western Conference without his second best player and his next best player being Will Barton, then that's clear-cut MVP.
What about Aaron Gordon over there?
Yeah, he's throwing shade.
You forgot about AG?
Just throwing Will Barton, but not mention my boy.
Bro. No, not.
You get injured and I missed it. Like,
do I still believe the Nuggets are going to make the Western Conference Finals? I mean, I don't know.
Are we doubling down, Phil? Are we doubling down?
I'm not
doubling balls and double down.
I don't know. They haven't been playing too well for me to double down. But anyway, I'm gonna move on. So the last thing I want to ask you guys is about I want to hear everyone's injury that shocked them the most, like the injury that they saw in the news or that they saw on social media that like they personally felt affected the team the most and just shocked you overall when you saw it. I'm interested about everyone's thoughts.
Okay, well, this is gonna, bro. I think I gotta go with the Hayward one. I just feel like opening night, like first game, like he played like 5 minutes. And
I'm talking about this year.
This year? This year, bro. I thought you meant all. Okay, my bad. Go back.
Way too many options.
Yeah, I was like, my bad, bro.
This season, for me, it's Jamal Murray. And it just recently happened. And we all saw what he did in the bubble. And I know he's cooled off a little bit since then, but he's still been a really solid point guard. And the Nuggets were just starting to sneak back into contention mode in the West. They're climbing the ranks. Then in the last minute of a blowout game, he tears his ACL. It's awful to see. And I wish I'm praying for Jamal Murray, but he's so far my most shocking and most hated injury so far this season.
Yeah, Bass, I agree with you 100% on that one. I mean, the Nuggets had a wicked tough start to the season. Obviously, Jamal Murray wasn't playing like his bubble self, but I mean, they kind of started to turn the tide in the second half on top of the fact they just traded for Aaron Gordon. And I think they were playing with some really good basketball and they were looking wicked good. And to see someone like Jamal Murray, who we clearly see or have seen what he's capable of doing on the basketball court, especially in the big moments with a team that's on the rise. And the Nuggets are like a fun team to watch. Like, you know, like there's a lot of like top dogs in the league that are like hated by fans. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to see them win. Like I feel like the Nuggets, at least to me, are like a hard team to cheer against. Like they're just a fun team to watch. They've got really great people over there. And it really stings because they're a team that you want to see make a run at it. And I'm not going to say their hopes are like over because, you know, they still do have the MVP in my opinion. But I mean, that really is just a shot to the heart right there to lose someone like him.
Toss, do you have an idea about yours, or do you want me to go?
No, I'll go. So it's not as much as like a shock as Jamal Murray's, but just one that's just kind of like, damn, like that just sucks. And I'm gonna go with James Wiseman as someone who kind of hasn't been having the best rookie season compared to his peers, but it's just like when you're a rookie and you have like I think it was like a meniscus injury, right? It was something like that. It's just like I don't know. It just like kind of sucks just having your rookie year just end like that because of an injury, especially when you're so young and starting to get used to like the NBA type schedule and all that. So yeah, I think I got to go with James Wiseman.
So you could have also went with another rookie counterpart, like probably the rookie of the year at the moment, LaMelo, but
All right.
that's what I was thinking you were going. But yeah, so mine happened even before the season started, and it's Klay Thompson. When I was like on my phone, just chilling, I got like a breaking news alert from ESPN saying like Klay Thompson like feared to have like re-injured himself, like feared to be out for the season. And I was like what happened? Like I thought it was like barely even like summer workouts and stuff. And then
that
like
one
it was
hit hard.
confirmed, and like it's just like I knew that Curry's workload would just be like increased so much. And like I knew like Curry would obviously like do what he's doing right now. But just for a man who just missed the previous season to miss a whole nother season because of a simple leg injury is just it's sad. Like, and he's such a good player. It's like I'm not gonna say he's one of my favorite players because he's not, but he's such an enjoyable player to watch. And just seeing him like stuck on the sidelines, like he's an announcer now, just cheering on his team. It's like, damn, like that sucks. So yeah, definitely for me with Klay Thompson. Like, I was so sad when I saw that.
No, I think that's a wicked good pick too. Because honestly, the Klay Thompson injury kind of gets overlooked, I think, too. Because realistically, think about where the Warriors would be if they had Klay Thompson. I think where he's been off the court for so long, and like when he was on the court, he was kind of overshadowed by Curry and KD. I think people forget how good Klay Thompson really is.
Honestly,
and he's just a lights out shooter, can score from anywhere, and he's just like you said about him being enjoyable. It's just because he plays good basketball. You never see him trying to do too much. You never see him trying to be fancy, but like he's just always making the right moves. Like his IQ's through the roof, I think. Like creating open shots off when he's playing off ball. Like I don't even know how to describe it. Like he just plays wicked good fundamental basketball. And I think his skill is way overlooked. And honestly, I'm kind of guilty of it because when you asked me the question, I didn't even really think of Klay Thompson.
I didn't either, honestly.
I totally forgot about that one. And the fact that happened before the season 2 is really upsetting too as well.
And even before Steve Kerr, Mark Jackson, I'm not saying he made Klay Thompson, but he created the perfect offense for both Curry and Klay Thompson to run through. I don't know if you guys know what an elevator screen is. Have you guys heard of that?
Yeah.
So it's basically when like the shooter like runs through and like comes up through the paint, and it's like he goes through and like they close it off. It's like an elevator.
You got to play like that in high school, Phil.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, but like just like stuff like that. It's like he's such a perfect counterpart. I can't even speak. He's such a perfect counterpart to Curry, and like he's arguably the best 3-and-D player ever. Arguably.
That's the biggest thing I think
not.
look about his game is his defensive ability.
Same
They're the
with
best
Everyone's
two-way
talking
players.
about the high scoring games, the whole, what was it, 11 dribbles for how many points is that? Like everyone wants to talk about that, but like people forget that he can clamp up almost anyone on the court all the time.
He always wants the toughest matchup.
every single night. And yeah,
That's why I respect him. But yeah. Do you guys got anything else to say about shocking injuries?
Can I get an honorable mention?
Yes.
So my honorable mention goes to LaMarcus Aldridge. He had to cut it short with his career. I know we complained about the Nets and did a whole episode on that and said it was a weak move, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you never want to see a guy have to cut his career short because of some freak accident like in a regular heartbeat. And LaMarcus Aldridge always had that devastating post fade that would kill any type of defender that was guarding him, whether it be in Portland, San Antonio, or Brooklyn. And it just sucks to have to watch a guy cut his career short like that.
Yeah, that's a good honorable mention. I was also gonna say Jonathan Isaac, because I'm a huge Jonathan Isaac fan. Like ever since he like got like even in college, like Jonathan Isaac, like he's a 6'10" forward and absolutely locks up and does the job. And he's similar to Klay Thompson, where he missed last season and he got re-injured and missed it this season also. So that would be my honorable mention. You boys got any or no?
no, I don't think I have an honorable mention.
Not any that I can think of.
I think you guys hit all the big major ones for sure.
Yeah. Bro,
Yeah,
especially
so-
the Aldridge one, bro. That
Yeah.
I was not expecting to just like
That's
retire.
upsetting. I mean, you never want to see that out of anyone. I mean, there's a lot of players in the league that I hate. I
Yeah.
hate. You guys know that, but like even just something as simple as like he tore his ACL. Like you just hate to see stuff like that, and especially something that forces you out of the career. Like that sucks. I mean, yes, I will always hate that he joined the Nets. He will never get me to forgive him for that, but at the end of the day, I'd rather see him on the court on the Nets than never being able to suit up for basketball again. I mean, it just sucks to see.
I personally don't mind. That man deserved a ring. And like it's not like he went to the Nets to sit on the bench and like drop 2 points. Like he was dropping like 15 points a night.
Yeah, he was starting.
I don't hate it. Exactly. Yeah, my bad. He was starting. I don't hate it, but yeah, it's kind of a power move. Anything else?
Well, the thing about like first thing I thought of about the Aldridge thing was like Chris Bosh. Have it like he had blood clots, had to end his career short. It's just like ugh. I was a huge fan of Chris Bosh. He was just one of those players that was just very fun to watch.
Injuries ruin careers, bro.
Bosch was another kind of player that kind of got overlooked because he was in the shadow of other players, and people kind of forgot how good Chris Bosh was because he was sharing the court with D Wade and LeBron. I mean,
I mean, young Chris Bosh was in the Raptors, and people
There
knew
was a
he was.
problem with the
oh yeah,
Raptors.
no, he
Oh,
was.
yeah.
That's what I mean, and he was still the same player when he went to the Heat. It's just he was very overlooked for that.
Like he got
Yeah.
a rebound and made a pass.
That's probably what everyone's gonna remember him by, is that play right there.
Gosh,
That commentary, everything, bro.
funny.
Yeah, I think that's all I really got for today. Basically, just want to wrap it up. Injuries suck. They ruin careers. They ruin seasons. They ruin a lot of things. Could ruin playoff pushes, teams, how they do in the playoffs, a bunch of stuff like that. Who knows? Guess we'll find out. But that was another episode of the Top Prospect Podcast. Thank you all so much for watching. Like I said, our social medias are down below. Please check all of them out. We just made a TikTok down below. Thanks to John right here.
Yes, fire.
Please check us out on Spotify, Anchor, and yeah, just share us to everyone. We love doing this, like I said. So yeah, thank you so much, everyone.
Dude,